Hello, I'm Mathieu from Ludovox, and we are on the Renegade Games booth at the Essen Spiel with Sarah again.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm fine. It's still the first day because we haven't moved too far in time, and we are there with Ex Libris.
Yeah, so this is a library building game. You want to be the grand librarian by the end of the game, and that will require you to build a beautiful library out of lots of rare and interesting books. And to do that, you start out with a hand of cards, and these cards are all going to be different library books, and you'll take these and organize them in front of you in alphabetical order. But to do that, you're going to have to send out your workers. We each start with a different unique worker. You send them out to these action spaces and take whatever action it says to do. Usually they'll either get you more cards or allow you to put cards into your library in some various way. And then that's how you start. So if I wanted to build my library, I might start with this card. We'll put it around for that. And that would be fine, but then if I want to place another card down, it has to be orthogonally adjacent to this one, and I want it to be in alphabetical order. So if I wanted to play this card, I would probably put it underneath because C is up here kind of high in the alphabet, and Q is kind of in the middle. But then if I were able to place another card for some reason, and it was a D, I'd place it next to C. Because now that these are next to each other, I can't put any more letters in between. So eventually you'll build this library. It can only be up to 3 shelves tall, and then you'll get points for various things in the library. Each one of these has books, and you'll get points for those types of books. In this particular setup, we have reference text being the prominent works. Whoever has the most of those will get 15 points. So you'll see I have 2 of those in my library so far, but I don't know if you would have any at all. Oh, you've got one. Oh.
So let's do this. I got dajos, so D, E, and T. There we are, and I have 2 of them. But for example, I got 2 books of hell, but they don't do any points, right?
They're totally fine. That may even be your secret favorite type of book, which would be okay, because we each have a secret here. You've got one, I've got one. But what we don't want, secrets. What we don't want in our libraries this time are the monster manuals. Those will be -1 point for every monster manual. I don't have any, and you've got one, unfortunately.
So do we select, we have a huge deck here. Do we draw cards back? Do we play a card and then draw back?
The only way to get cards or to play them in your library is to send your workers out. So there's all these different action spaces that rotate every round. We start with just 2 of them in a 2-player game, and we've got a huge pile of them. And then at the end of each round, we keep 1. So we'll start with the Diviner's Hut and then 1 other card, and we'll keep that, and then we'll draw 2 more. So every round we get more and more locations, which are all actions that we can take, and they're all different.
Do we block the other people? Like there is only 1 diviner, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's a worker placement game. So once we've placed all 3 of our workers each round, then we'll collect them back and it'll start a new round.
Okay, that seems really clear. Who is the game intended for? Is it more for adults or kids, experienced gamers, or is it accessible?
I would say it's accessible, but I would probably play this with adults who have had a little bit of experience gaming, because there's a lot of information on these location tiles that you're trying to juggle in your head, and the puzzle of building your library is more challenging than it looks like it would be. So it's not that it's a difficult game rules-wise, but there is a lot to keep track of.
Especially, I guess, with the interdiction or, weighing the risks of having monster manuals or other things and your secret in the reference.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot that you're trying to decide about your library as you're building it. And then the locations will give you different actions every single round, so you have to make a new strategy each round. You can't do the same thing over and over again.
So apparently a little bird told me that this would be in French with whole new titles in the books.
We love working with our partners Renegade France, and we are working on translating lots of our games. And of course, with all of the localizations that we're thinking about with this game, we want to make it fun for each different region that it's in. And so we don't want to just take these fantastically hilarious book titles and directly translate them because they won't make any sense. So every time we localize this, we're going to have them recreate every one of the over 500 titles in this game to be fun and make sense for that language.
For example, we have Queen Kong, which would be nonsensical in French because queen is reine. So maybe ring rong or something like that. That would make more sense, but that would be a different letter. So I guess you have to find other titles with other puns.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a huge spreadsheet, and it'll take a lot of work, but it's going to be amazing when it's finished.
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah, for that overview of Ex Libris, and see you on Notebox. Bye-bye.